All right. Morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Okay.
How was everybody this morning? 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So here in the United States, I believe it's, what time is it UK time? 6 hours from here.
So they're ahead of us, right?
Yeah, 6
So,
hours.
yeah,
We're
it
not
must be
awake
noon
yet.
time. So,
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for joining us this morning.
Wonderful. So we're going to actually do things a little different from now on. We're going to do half an hour. We're going to do 15 minutes where we're going to do a little bit of a instruction on some of the basic form, different exercises, and then we're going to do our 15-minute workout. So first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today is that this kettlebell, this is irrelevant. This is just the catalyst that we use to learn this. What we're learning is really, it's about the forces that this kettlebell puts through our body as we swing it, is putting forces through our body. And the truth is that those forces aren't even really what's important. What's important is how your awareness of your own body changes because of those forces. This is an incredibly important distinction to make because a lot of people get confused and they think it's about the kettlebell. The principles of movement and load bearing that we learn with the kettlebell applies to everything. Anything you pick up that puts your body under load. There's only certain ways that your body is designed to carry that. And if we don't follow the correct movement principles within this process, we end up hurting ourselves. This is why it's such an important thing to learn. So what we're going to learn today is proper swing form. Now, there's a couple of different variations of swing form. We're going to do the one I like. So let me just adjust this camera here. I've got this. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. And so here's what you're going to do. You're going to put your feet on either side of the kettlebell. And you're going to take your hands like this and you're going to chop right here on this line where your leg folds into your torso. It's called the inguinal line. You're going to chop and kick your hips back. Okay, back up. Chop, kick your hips back. Seat your shoulders and grab the kettlebell. We'll talk about seating the shoulders in detail in another video. Now from here, you're just going to stand by pushing into your heels. Come back down. Excellent. Now, exactly the same thing as what you're going to do to swing it. It's just that at the bottom, I'm going to kind of hike it like a football so that I start to swing. And I'm going to stand and push my hips forward. Notice my arms are still in contact with my leg. When I push my hips forward, it makes my arms continue to go out. At the top of the swing, it's going to stop, and gravity takes over, and it starts to go back. Once it hits my legs, I kick my hips back and follow it. The kettlebell, my arm and the kettlebell are in line with my spine. And I come back up, pop my hips forward, and then let me just demonstrate real quick. So I fold, kicking my hips back, seat my shoulders, grab the kettlebell, hike it.
Now, I can tell you from a new person's perspective that the thing that you're going to want to do is to lift your arms instead of pushing with your hips. So it looks really easy to do, but because as a new kettlebell workout person, that's the first thing that people want to do is lift your arms up, and that's not what you want to do. You're pushing with your hips to get your arms up.
In fact, I'm going to demonstrate that real quick. This is a belt. And I'm going to put that belt exactly where my arm would be. Watch.
The momentum of your hips that's pushing the kettlebell
There's
up.
no arms involved at all. Arms are just there to hold on to the kettlebell. They're like a rope. And you, using your hips, are like pushing the person swinging on a rope.
That was a good demonstration, by the way.
So let's have Kendra go ahead and give it a try.
I'm just going to move this over here. And
Nice.
see
Okay.
my shoulders better.
Nice. Now set that down for 1 minute. So what Kendra's doing is pretty darn close. There's one little thing that I want you to pay attention to, and that is there is a lot of times tendency for people to do what we call double dipping, where they'll go down, up a little bit, and then down again and swing. This, and now you want to avoid. So just think about that for a moment as you.
Can you show me exactly what you mean?
What I mean
for me, because I'm not noticing it.
Yeah. So this is what you want. Down, up.
And I'm doing.
And you're doing a little.
I'm doing a hop.
It's like a double dip.
Okay.
You want to make sure that that doesn't happen. There it is. It's a subtle difference, but it's there.
Do I have to bend more?
Well, we're going to go over that in just a moment. Very nice. All right, set that down.
And this is a, what weight is this?
This is a 12-kilogram kettlebell. This is a 16.
And probably somebody that's starting out would want to use a 12.
Well, it depends on your body type.
Okay.
Your size. I'm not a very big guy. 16-kilogram kettlebell is really all I would ever need. Sometimes I use a bit heavier. Sometimes I use a bit lighter. But this is sort of my normal kettlebell.
Okay.
This kettlebell is perfect for you once you've got the details down on all of this stuff.
To get the form down.
Swinging, you can do this form now. Putting stuff over your head, you probably want to go down to a kilogram. It's just 17.5 pounds until that is until that's comfortable and dialed in your form, and then you go up to the heavier weight. So the question that Kendra had was, should I bend my knees more? So there's really two kinds of kettlebell. Well, there's many kinds of kettlebell swings, but the two main kinds have to do with using sort of a squat form where you're bending your knees significantly and sitting back and standing, right? And that one is what tends to be favored by fitness people because it burns a lot more calories because you're bending your legs and it's employing the big muscles of your legs, what we call prime movers, and they consume a lot of energy. They're the long muscle fiber muscles. If you fold at the hip and keep your legs largely straight here instead of here, right? You're using your glutes and iliopsoas complex more, which are short muscle fiber muscles, and they're built for endurance. And those, in that swing form style, you'll be able to go much longer. So it's really a question of, are you trying to burn a lot of energy, or are you trying to conserve energy? Kettlebell training is, in general, not like the normal Western model of weightlifting that we've come to know and love here in the States. Here, our object is to isolate a muscle and make it work as hard as possible to stimulate its growth. Whereas in kettlebell training, Russian weightlifting, this is about work capacity. So the principle is that you want to make it as easy as possible to do any given exercise, which is going to make it so that you can do it longer. Because at the end of the day, they're interested in work capacity, not what you look like in the mirror. Because these things are hundreds of years old. These things come from like the early 1700s, and nobody really gave a shit what you look like. They cared whether you could outwork your neighbor.
Now, having said that, as a woman, you can get a phenomenal physique from working with kettlebells. I've seen it myself. So that's my goal.
Yep.
Also endurance, but as I age, I want to stay fit and healthy and look good and have good muscle tone. So that's why I'm starting to work out with kettlebell, because I've seen what it does to your body. And so you'll be able to see my progression as I go along as well.
Now, one more thing that I want you guys to try. And this is something called a wall squat. What this is a way to dial in your form. If you put a kettlebell against the wall, stand with your feet touching, and then you sit back and grab the kettlebell. Most people will have it leaning from the wall and pushes them away. To do this properly, you have to sit back into your hips. This will help you dial in your form. Give it a try.
Wow.
It actually,
It looks hard.
it actually is kind of hard. You can come away from the wall slightly. Yep. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Good, seating your shoulders. Okay, bring that over here.
And I'm looking in a glass, so I was able to see that I was not seeing my shoulders properly. They were falling forward. So I was able to adjust that because I could see myself in that window. Cool.
So we have a couple minutes. We'll go over the seating the shoulder. So what we mean by seating our shoulder is this. You need to connect your arm to your body, right? Here. They pull in. In sports, they tell you bring your shoulders back and down. And this connects your humerus to the scapula, right? I tell people when you pick something up, if you have to grip it, you should make a fist at both ends of your arm, right? Connect here. It's essentially firing the 4 little rotator cuff muscles, right? That's what's going to do it. So a way to tell is this, a way to dial it in. Go ahead and lie down on the floor, Kendra.
Face down.
Face up. So if Kendra gives me her hand, just relax. This is your shoulder going in and out of socket. Now seat your shoulder here, tight. Now I should be able to pick you right up off the ground with your shoulder seated.
Yeah.
If you release it, you'll feel that's just not stabilized. So this is a good way to sort of use a partner and figure that out.
Once you've got it figured out, it's actually really easy to do. You just have to stay conscious. You just have to stay conscious of it because it's easy to like let that go throughout your workout. So it is something you have to stay present with in order to complete that form.
Okay.
And that helps with the stability of, that makes your arm more stable, correct?
Yep. So we're going to do one last thing before we get started so that you can practice some of this stuff with us. So I want you to take your hand out in front of you, seat the shoulder, sit back into your hips and go thumb back with one hand, right? And you're going to come up, pop your hips forward, clap your hands, bring the other one back. Turn this thumb down, sit back. Thumbs up, thumb back. Right? That's going to be your one-handed alternating swing. Understand? And it's there where you're clapping that you change hands. Let me show. Right? I go thumb back, thumb up. That's the clap. You change hands.
I probably should do this one.
All right. Ready to get started. Grab your kettlebell.
Ready.
I'm going to go forward a little bit. Grab your kettlebell with two hands. Sit back into your hips. Lift. I come forward just a bit. Okay. You're going to release the kettlebell. Bring it around behind you and in front in this big circle.
Now I can feel my core tightening up in order to be able to do this, which is
Other directions. And bring it to one side. Bring your feet about shoulder width apart. Take your other hand and put it up here by your shoulder. You're going to swing this kind of like a suitcase, right? And you're going to bring it up and catch it with the other hand. Your thumb goes through the hole. Good. Swing and catch. This is called the stall. And up. 2. Change hands. Change hands again. Now from here, there you go. Sit back, push it up overhead. Keep both hands on it. Now try and straighten the hand that has the kettlebell. You're holding it by the ball. Pull it back. Swing. Stall. Press. All the way to a locked arm. Return. Two more. Change hands. Pull it in. Set it down. Nice. So we're going to do a technique called the goblet squat. Actually, let's do this a little bit. We're going to do one called the do one step at a time.
one step at a time.
Okay. Bring the kettlebell up. Regular squat. Now you're going to sit back into your hips. And grab the kettlebell like so. Bring it back down.
Now when you do this, do you pop your hips forward?
Yep. It's all hip. it up. Sit back in your hips, press it overhead. Now bring it all the way to the bottom. All the way down, halfway up, all the way down. And down.
Don't let these little things fool you. It's a great workout.
Very nice, very nice.
And don't forget to breathe.
Okay. Grab the kettlebell with one hand, pinky to the middle of the handle. Bring it up. To the rack. And we're going to do 10 swings to the rack. Swing. 1. Change hands. Here we go. Change hands. So yesterday we did lunges, stepping forward. Today we're going to do lunges, stepping back. So I have the kettlebell on my left arm. I'm going to step back with the opposite leg. Touch my knee. Come back up. 1. Change hands. Stepping back with the other leg. Change hands. All right, now we're going to combine it with the opposite leg. Looks like this. You step forward and then step back. Come back to the middle. Forward, back. There's 1. 2. 3. 4. Change hands. Stepping opposite leg forward. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Set it down.
Ooh, that one helps with your balance.
Oh, yeah.
Bugaboo's not really working out with us this morning.
Nope.
She's the overseer,
Mostly.
supervisor.
Okay, so we're going to start doing some swings.
Should I use this weight or?
I would go up to the 12.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to start with, we're going to do sets of 20. We're going to do 3 sets of 20 swings. So bring your kettlebell down, grip it, seat your shoulders and lift. And 1, 2, 3. And set it. Now, the RKC method for starting the kettlebell is you put the kettlebell in front of you. So step back just a little bit. This way, when I do my first swing, I give it a pull and it automatically goes back. Then I park it out in front.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's RKC? A lot of people don't know.
RKC, Russian Kettlebell Challenge. It's a certification program that was developed by a guy named John Duquesne in partnership with Pavel Tatsulin. That brought these from Russia over here. Former Spetsnaz trainer, heck of a guy. Anyway,
Okay.
Let's do another set. And pull. Deep breaths.
The other thing I want to mention is that for those of you who are looking for more basic moves, David has a YouTube channel.
Yep. Go to Sensei David Hills at YouTube, and there's a set of videos on what you need to do before you start swinging. And then there's a whole series of exercises from basic to complex with most of the basic curriculum that I teach. There's obviously variations ad infinitum, but it's a great place to get started. One more set. Here we go. All right, set the kettlebell down. Come on down on the floor and have a seat. I want you to take the kettlebell, put your thumbs through the handle, pick it up like so, with the handle touching your chest. Pick your feet up off the ground, rotate one side and the other. And 2, And 10 more. Nine. And nice. It's 20 seated Russian twist.
Wow.
Nice. Well, that concludes our kettlebell workout for today. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the little bell up there to make sure you get notifications.
We will see you guys tomorrow.
If you're over here on Facebook, be here.
So happy to have you here with us today. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for more kettlebell workout with David and Kendra. Take care.